You are listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, a weekly recap of Yankton High School athletics. Huddling with the Herd is brought to you in part by Mount Marty University, At the Bar, FNBO, Avera, Parker Hannafin, Olson's Pest Technicians, Farmers Union Insurance, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowey Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, the UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now, broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Good Saturday morning, everybody, here on KYNT. I am Brayden Butler, and yes, we did make the trip back from Rapid in one piece. Snow, a little bit of freezing rain, some icy spots. We played it safe, got back early this morning, but we are ready to go for Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and streaming live on KYNT-TV. Obviously, the Yankton Gazelles last night, their season unfortunately coming to an end for basketball. The Yankton Bucks today in the Sodak 16, getting things going against Harrisburg this afternoon. So plenty to talk about there with basketball. We'll put a bow on wrestling. I know as of last week in the state tournament at this time, we hadn't crowned a state champion yet at 215 pounds. Edley Amaro, congratulations to him. He's the state champ at 215. A couple other great finishes for the Bucks and Gazelles in wrestling, and Bucks hockey as well, entering the state tournament this week. So we got plenty to talk about today here on Huddling with the Herd, so strap in. Good morning. It's Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't somewhere out there, but already waiting for you at home? That kitchen remodel, a new addition, or that dream family getaway? Your home's equity can fuel it all. With a fixed-rate home equity loan from Explorers Credit Union, turn what you've built into where you're going next. Explorers Credit Union, we believe in helping you launch your next big adventure. Call 800-491-4309 and speak with a loan officer today. Explorers Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu.
At the Bar is the bar for sports fans, with coverage of NFL, college basketball favorites, Yankton High School action, and NHL hockey too. Open 7 days a week. Bring in your crew, grab a table, and take in all the action surrounded by fans who love the game as much as you do. The energy's better, the company's great, and the beverages are cold, just the way game day should be. You can watch the game anywhere, but real fans gather at the Bar in downtown Yankton.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
It's time to stop making excuses. The peace of mind you get after a colonoscopy is worth it. It's the best way to prevent and detect one of the deadliest cancers. In fact, your doctor can remove precancerous polyps during the procedure if necessary. That's right, before it even turns to cancer. No excuses. Get a colonoscopy at 45 and follow up every 10 years or as recommended by your doctor. Find a location or schedule now at avera.org/colon.
Imagine paid vacation, sick leave, holidays, and full medical coverage the moment you start a new job. Plus quarterly profit sharing, 5% 401k match, and a company-paid retirement plan your first day on the job. With Parker of Yankton, you don't have to imagine, because all these benefits begin day one. We are hiring assemblers, material handlers, and line operation techs for both shifts. Don't mind working nights? Enjoy a pay differential of $235. If you're looking to upgrade your career and have day one benefits, apply today at parker.com.
Parker, engineering your success.
Welcome back in here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYNTV. We're kicking things off with Yankton Gazelles basketball. Their season, unfortunately, coming to an end last night, but let's look at their last week of games, as last Saturday was their regular season finale, a 52-19 win over Douglas in that one. 13 different players scoring for Yankton. Eden Wolfgram, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 assists. 7 points as well for Jordan Kudera to go along with 2 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals. 6 points each for September Rao, Jocelyn Elwood, and Brenna Elwood. Eden Wolfgram throughout the week was named ESD All-Conference. Congratulations to her. Heading into last night's Sodak 16 matchup with Rapid City Stevens. Unfortunately, Yankton would fall in the Sodak 16, 67-42 your final score. Eden Wolfgram, 20 points, 2 steals by my count, and Nora Kraske, 8 points and 3 steals. Had a chance to have a very good conversation with head coach Blake Savvy in the post-game, talking about his team, the growth not only of his squad, but him as a coach from start of year 1 last year to now the end of year 2, and hopefully many more to come for him at the helm for the Yankton Gazelles. So here's that interview now. It's the post-game from last night with head coach Blake Savvy of the Yankton Gazelles.
Obviously, Coach, not how you wanted the night to end, but clear improvement from year 1 to the end of year 2 in your coaching tenure. The future still looks bright, but just what are your initial thoughts and feelings as this season does come to an end for the Yankton Gazelles?
Yeah, we just can't say enough of the work that this group did and has done and will continue to do, laying a foundation for our program and especially our seniors. I think that they have just done a phenomenal job buying into everything that we have asked them to do. They have done it 2 feet in and just ready to work their butts off. And so by voice, by example, by play, they are an incredible group, and they have done it all regardless of if they were expecting minutes, no minutes, what their production was on the court. They continue to show up day after day and just work hard and be there as leaders for our group. And so we owe them so much for just the foundation that they built and that we're now going to try and build on from there. You're not going to build anything worthwhile if there's no foundation underneath it, and the foundation is the hardest part. It is just dirty, hard work, and these girls have been willing to do it day after day, time after time, and game after game. And so I think that's why you see the improvement from last year to this year, is they've just put their noses down and worked. And now we owe it to them and everybody on this year's team to continue to build forward and upward from there, and really continue to grow Gazelles basketball and make sure it goes in the right direction.
4 seniors playing their last game for the Yankton Gazelles tonight, all of them contributing on and off the court in different ways throughout their high school careers. One of them, in Nora Kraske, I gave her Defensive Player of the Game. She got credit for 3 steals tonight, and I noticed a lot she was matched up with Seyu Manatafa down low, and that is a tough matchup, even though she's just an 8th grader for anybody in Class AA, and I thought she held her own very, very well.
Yeah, Nora, just plain and simple, Nora is a winner. And if you look at that just across her body of work in the sports that she does, and she is that because she knows how to work and she knows how to compete. And so she is never going to back down from a challenge. I thought that she worked her butt off tonight. And again, we can go down the list of our seniors and just what they brought individually to us, and then collectively as a group. Each of their individual strengths was just amplified that much more by them as a group together. And so it really is just a very special group that, again, this team may never play together again, but it does not remove the friendships, the memories, and the relationships that they've built now over the last 2, 3, 4, and 5 years together.
I know we've talked a lot throughout the season, and even already in this conversation, the growth of your team from the start of your tenure at the beginning last year now to today, game 41 for you as head coach of the Yankton Gazelles. But I want to talk about you a little bit, because I know self-reflection is important. Just looking back, what do you think your biggest improvement's been as a coach from game 1 last year to game 21 this year?
I think one thing that you have to get used to is just making hard decisions. There are a lot of decisions that, as the leader, there's just a lot of hard decisions that you have to make, and I don't think that I'm ever going to get comfortable with those decisions. I think that you more just start to understand the responsibility has to lie with somebody to make them, and so I think that that's one thing that I've been trying to grow in, and then 2 is really just the game management piece, and I've got a long ways to go with that, and I'll continue to study the game, go and observe other coaches coaching, and sit down with other coaches in their offices, and I think that that is just an area that you can always be growing a lot in and improving. And then, I really think just continuing to try and build the belief in our girls. And that's what I think I really am the most proud of, is we were sitting in a classroom kind of going in the hotel, kind of going over some stuff for today. And when I was looking out at the girls, I saw genuine belief in their eyes. And when you're going in as the 13 seed against the number 4 seed in the state, to see them genuinely believe, it was just a really cool moment. And, I think that continues to tell us that we are moving in the right direction. I've got a lot of growing to do, and we've got a lot of room to grow as a team, too, and that's what's really exciting.
You got plenty of time to do it, too, I think, Coach. It's been a very clear, you talk about the foundation. It's being laid very well for your program. Congratulations on another step forward in year 2. I'm excited to see the years to come for you and the next generation of Gazelles as they keep coming through for the girls basketball program. Thank you for talking to us all season long, pregame, postgame, even on Saturday mornings when you're coming into the studio. But we do appreciate you and what you do for this team, and it was a lot of fun to cover your girls this year.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys coming out and covering us everywhere we go. You put in like the same amount of hours as a coach as far as travel and game time and all the things. And lastly, I just really want Yankton to be really proud of this group. The amount of work that they've put in and just what they've done in a year's time. Regardless of the outcome of this game, they are a phenomenal group. They work for each other, and I hope Yankton is very, very proud of this group.
Big thank you to head coach Blake Savvy, not only coming in on the Saturdays when he was available to come in live for Huddling with the Herd, for talking to us pregame, postgame, any information we needed about the team. He was always there to help. So congratulations on an improved season for him this year and his Yankton Gazelles. I know it does not end the way they wanted to. They wanted to keep playing next week into Rapid City, but unfortunately, last night was the final game of the season for the Gazelles. They end with an 8-13 overall record. When we come back, we're going to keep talking about basketball, but it will be Yankton Bucks basketball. I'll have an interview with head coach Chris Haynes coming up, as well as the Bucks take on the Harrisburg Tigers this afternoon in the boys Sodak 16. The boys state tournament 2 weeks away, so one of these teams will punch their ticket to the state tournament in Rapid City. We'll hear from head coach Chris Haynes and talk about the Bucks week when we come back here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.
Tip-off is here and the season's heating up. Whether it's your home, farm, or everyday life, Farmers Union Insurance help you defend against the unexpected and score big on protection. Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykera at Suite 101B, Morgan Square in Yankton help you rebound from surprises, make every play count, and keep your game strong all season long. Don't let life slam dunk you. Stop by today and stay covered with Farmers Union Insurance.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury,
check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. But
like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you struggle with dry contacts? At Vision Care Associates, we have a great option. Infused contact lenses by Bosch & Lomb. Infused lenses are designed to ensure that your eyes stay hydrated and irritation-free, even after a full day of wear. Our doctors specialize in fitting these lenses for maximum comfort and optimal vision. Schedule your consultation and experience the all-day comfort and crisp, clear vision you deserve.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't out there on the road? What if it's already waiting right at home? That kitchen you've been dreaming of, extra room to grow, or the family trip you've pictured long ago. Your home's equity can fuel it all when your plans become a must. Explorers Credit Union, build steady, build for us. Insured by NCUA. Call 800-491-4309 and put your equity to work for you today.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure in 2026? Then book your stay at Yankton's two finest hotels, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer a complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Welcome back in here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT and KYN-TV. We're talking Yankton Bucks basketball now. They're in the Sodak 16 today against Harrisburg. But before that, let's look at their regular season finale last Saturday against Douglas, a 59-39 win over the Patriots. Jackson Kudera wrapped up an impressive weekend. He had 35 points the night before against Spearfish, finished with a game-high 17 points against Douglas to go with 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist. Abel Bryan, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist for him. And Beck Reichen, 11 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals. They ended the regular season, did the Bucks with an 8-12 overall record, winning 7 of their last 9 games. They do take on Harrisburg today at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Pre-game coverage right here on KYNT and KYN-TV begins at 1:30. Tell Tanner we'll be making the trip for that one up to Harrisburg to call that game. Looking at recent matchups, or a matchup earlier this year, against Harrisburg for Yankton, Harrisburg defeated the Bucks in their regular season opener 54-46. Austin Conway on that day led with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jackson Kudera, then coming off the bench, had 11 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. Harrisburg is 3-2 against Yankton in their last 5 meetings. I did have a chance to talk to head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks over the phone about today's matchup for the Bucks against the Harrisburg Tigers. It was a very good interview. You'll hear it again in the pregame show later on if you're listening to that, but here it is now to start things off for Huddling with the Herd. Here's head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks. Coach, it's been a roller coaster, a bit of a season. Started out with a rough stretch of games against some of the top teams in the state, but you've really been firing on all cylinders over the last month, even back to a month and a half, despite some losses at the end of January. So how are you feeling heading into this postseason matchup with Harrisburg?
Yeah, we feel like we're playing good basketball right now. Up with the teams are going to be in the state tournament caliber team that we're playing like right now. And obviously this time of year, that's what you need to be doing if you want to play in the state tournament. The teams that are going to win their games today are obviously going to have to play very well. And, these Sodak 16 games and state tournament games are not easy to win. And, they're usually very hard fought and come down to the wire. So, hopefully we can play well tonight. And Harrisburg's had a great season, going 15-5. They're a really good team. And just a nightmare matchup problem. They're just tough to match up with. And for anyone, not just for us, but for anyone in the state. So, there's a lot of interesting dynamics at play in this game, and hopefully we can get out there and neutralize some of those things.
I was looking at some of the advanced stats on Huddle earlier today and saw that in your wins this season, you're about 3/4 of the time your opponent misses a shot, you're grabbing a defensive rebound. But in your losses, it's about 60% of the time you're able to get a defensive rebound. So there's a big difference there. I know rebounding is always a factor for you. How do you kind of combat those matchup issues you mentioned with Harrisburg to get on the boards?
Yeah, when you look at February, we've won the battle on the boards more times than not. And in December and January, we did not do that. And again, some of it's your competition that you're playing and things like that, no doubt about it. But I also believe that it's an area that we have gotten better at throughout the year. I did not think we rebounded very well at all in December or the beginning of January. And, there's some that you're not going to get, but when we went back and looked at film, I didn't think our technique was very good. I didn't think our effort was very good on the boards. Just all the way around, we just did not do a good job on the boards, which you're not going to win basketball games if you don't rebound. I mean, it's hard enough to win. You have no chance if you don't rebound, and that is definitely the case here today. If we don't rebound, we have no chance to win the game.
Looking back over the last week, Coach, a full week off since you wrapped up the season against Douglas last Saturday. What has practice been like this week? Is it more rest or for your guys, make sure they're ready that way?
Yeah, this week is always unique, and same with the first week leading into the state tournament, or the first game of the state tournament. And because you have more time than you're used to throughout the regular season, there's not very many times in the regular season where you have an entire week to prepare for an opponent. And so because of that, and obviously then the significance of the game, the importance of the game is heightened, being a postseason game. And when you advance, lose, you're done with the season. So all those factors are in play. And for us, we like to find that balance where, we still need to do some things. We need to get better. We need to improve. We need to prepare for our opponent. We need to make sure that we know what we're doing. But also, like you said, I also firmly believe in having fresh legs this time of year is maybe the most important thing. So you always as a coach, you're always trying to strike that balance.
Big thanks to Coach Haynes taking time out of his day to talk to us here at KYNT and KYN-TV. Good luck to him and the Bucks this afternoon. Once again, 2 p.m. tip-off from Harrisburg High School, 1:30 p.m. pregame here on KYNT and KYN-TV. When we come back, we're talking about Yankton wrestling. That's Bucks and Gazelles state tournament last week, a state champion, 2 state runners-up. So very impressive showing for Yankton last week. We'll talk about that when we come back. We'll also hear from head coach of the Yankton Bucks, Robert Coyle, and one of his wrestlers, a state champion, in Edley Amaro. That's when we come back here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
There's a difference when a convenience store is locally owned, and you feel it the moment you stop at Triple Time Rudy's. You'll get great quality fuel to keep you on the move, plus local and regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner Lockers. It's the kind of place that's convenient and connected to your community. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling your community.
Hi, I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate. If you're thinking of selling your home, let's start with a full market analysis so you can understand our local market trends and know what to expect. Let me handle the details so you can focus on your next adventure. When it's time to move, pack those Vision boxes and hook up to our courtesy trailer. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Small test, big protection. The general surgeons at Yankton Medical Clinic performed more than 1,900 colonoscopies last year, 1,900 steps towards a healthier community. Screening is simple, safe, and one of the most effective ways to prevent colon cancer. Most patients sleep comfortably through the entire procedure, which usually takes less than 30 minutes. Don't wait until symptoms appear. Call for an appointment today. Plus, the general surgeons are on call and see patients after hours and weekends. Learn more at yanktonmedicalclinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. Now it's time to talk Yankton, Bucks and Gazelles wrestling. We'll start with Gazelles wrestling here. Looking at their 4 state qualifiers, how they did in the state meet last week. Chloe Catan at 115 went 0-2, losses via pinfall and major decision. Alexis Brayden at 120 finished the tournament 1-2, winning via pinfall round 1 before falling in round 2. Her second loss was a forfeit loss in the state tournament. And Jacqueline Kite at 135, 0-2, lost her first match via pinfall, and the second match ended via default as Kite was unable to finish the match. Winry Yagi, led the Gazelles at 145, going 3-1 at the state tournament, 2 wins via pinfall, 1 via tech fall, and a runner-up finish. Now switching to the other side of things, congratulations again to the Yankton Gazelles wrestling program. I know girls wrestling continues to grow in popularity around the state, and Yankton try to position themselves as one of the premier girls wrestling teams in the state right now. As for the Bucks and how they finished at the state tournament, Colton Archer at 106 went 1-2, winning his first match 14-2 before falling in his next 2 matches by tech fall and decision. He was eliminated in the Constellation's second round. Damian Janish at 113 went 0-2 with a pair of decision losses. Brooks Delosier at 120 qualified for the state tournament, going 1-2, win via major decision, and a loss by a decision and pinfall. Ethan Smith at 126 went 0-2, losing by fall and decision. Zane Portillo at 157 went 1-2, winning via pinfall but losing via tech fall and decision. And Drace Gaskins at 285, 1-2, a win via pinfall and losses via pinfall and major decision. The 2 names that I have not mentioned yet of the 8 state qualifiers for the Yankton Bucks, Chase Platt, 3-1 at the state tournament, a runner-up finish for the senior at 165, capping off a fantastic high school wrestling career, and long before that, a longtime wrestler for Chase Platt. And Edley Amaro, the first state champion since 2019 for Yankton Wrestling at 215 pounds, a pinfall victory over Zoel Irian of Sturgis in the championship match, one where he avoided some danger there, down 2-0 in the third period, was able to work out of a jam and then just use his strength and talent to muscle Irian over for a pinfall victory. But you don't have to hear it from me. You can hear it from the man himself. I had a chance earlier this week. Edley Amaro and Robert Coyle III, head coach of the Yankton Bucks, were able to come in and talk to me here at KYNT Studios. It is going to be a bit of a longer interview today. I talked a lot to Edley and Coach Coyle. So strap in, hear from the state champion, first one in since 2019 for the Yankton Bucks, and Edley Amaro, and of course, head coach Robert Coyle III. Let's go to that interview now here on KYNT, KYN TV for Huddling with the Herd. Brayden Butler here today for Huddling with the Herd, and we got a special conversation for the Yankton Bucks wrestling program. Usually we just talk to coaches on the show, but we got Coach Robert Coyle coming in today. Thank you for joining us, and state champion at 215, Edley Amaro. And Edley, first of all, congratulations, man, on that state championship. Watching the final clip back, it was really impressive what you were able to do out there on the mat this season, and thank you both once again for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Edley, we'll start things off with you as the state champion at 215 pounds. I mentioned it already, but looking back at the final clip, and maybe Coach Coyle can go more in depth what he saw from the side of things. I have no idea how you got out of that, just somehow staying belly down, because it looked like he had you starting to roll over. You flip out of it belly down and you just muscle him over. What's going through your head in that moment as things are going from potentially worst case scenario to obviously best case scenario?
I don't know, because Coyle told me not to do that. But I looked back at the video. It looked like I had no base to like settle myself and not try to get in that situation. But he was just too light. It was like, he wasn't a true 215-pounder. That's what made it so easy. But I was scared when I got down there, though. I just got scared.
It seemed like obviously a worrying moment, but you stayed composed, beat him out of it, and then obviously your guys' celebration made the rounds on social media. Coyle, I know you're a very talented wrestler in your own right, but it looked like being able to carry Edley for a little bit there afterwards. Is the adrenaline pumping there at the end of that?
I think adrenaline's going. I think back to when we wrestled Irion from Sturgis. That's the kid we wrestled earlier in the year. They got in that same scramble, but maybe in the first period where Irion knew how to wrestle out of it, and I think Edley the first time left his hips a little too high, where it kind of came back to bite us and actually caught us on our back. So that was something we talked about going into the match. Like, hey, for one, if you go here, you're going to need to say your hips a lot more, and you can see in the video the difference I've seen between him the first time doing that and the second time as soon as he hipped over. For one, he hipped over in the third period, which is more when we can use our size, use our ability. Irion's obviously a little bit more tired there. Probably it was 2-0 going into that third period. So, I think this game plan to keep it close and then get within striking distance worked. And he hipped over, and I was like, oh, here we go. It's either going to really pay off or it's not. And he sagged his hips perfectly. So, Edley, the thing about Edley, too, is his body awareness, I think, is really I don't think guys realize, especially Edley wrestling heavyweight last year, their last 2 years, and then coming down to 215. I think he felt a lot. He could do a lot more with his offense. If he shot under a guy in years previous, when he was especially a heavyweight, their game plan was just put all their weight on him because he was giving up 50, 60 pounds. So he could do it and be a lot more shifty and figuring out his body awareness throughout the whole season and getting adjusted to the weight class. He saw that moment, took it, and like I said, I was like, I don't know. And he saved perfect, got on top, and then he was making sure he got the pin. So to see that all within the 10 to 15 seconds that happened, to see him kind of, for all those practices, everything to work out in our favor. And now it doesn't always, right? It's a state tournament, and, in wrestling, you can work as hard as you can, do everything right, you still might come up short, but that's also life, So, but for us to fall on top that moment and get the pin, especially having Edley as a state champ for the first time since 2019. I think earlier and the day before that, we were pumped to even make it because he beat a kid that had beat him earlier the year. So really just a great state tournament overall, and for Edley and for all of our kids. But to have that moment and the excitement and just pure like adrenaline and just a pure moment, right? So I think everybody, and really cool in the background, you see all of his teammates. You see everybody who isn't even from Yankton, and everybody's like shocked. Like everybody's hands are like this, everybody's mouths are wide open, and it was the only state championship match going out of time, so that place erupted, and I think the adrenaline gave me some extra leg power that day, and Edley was able to make it happen. So super cool for Edley himself, for Yankton wrestling, for our community, to have him and have him have that moment too was super special.
And something that obviously just over recording here, but notice in the booth, Edley got a different little hair color, and a lot of other guys on the team I noticed. Is it bleaching your hair for this, or what was kind of the mindset? What caused the style change for you guys?
So we had like some new wrestlers that went to state for the first time, so they all decided like to bleach our hairs. So I was like, okay, it's my last year, so why not? Only person who did not do it had to be Chase, though.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Well, Chase got the longer hair. He's got a little more to deal with. I guess I haven't seen him if he's cut it recently, but for wrestling or anything. But no, still rocking the longer.
Yeah, he still rocks it. He's probably had you could probably ask his mom. He's probably had the same haircut since he's like 4.
Yeah, I have a picture of it too.
Yeah, it's the same hair, and I have never seen that kid with short hair or any other different colored hair. So he ended up not doing it, but everybody else ended up going with the bleach. It sounds like.
Speaking just of, being a state champion, is the first state champion for Yankton High School since 2019, like you said, Coach Coyle. And Edley, I don't know, when did your journey start in wrestling? Is it like more of a recent thing, or have you been doing it for a long time?
I've been doing it since third grade, so 10 years. Mm-hmm. My dad decided to put me into wrestling because I couldn't do any other sport because I had to pay a lot. So I was like, okay, wrestling is like one of them stuff that I like. And my dad did freestyle back in his old country, so he wanted me like have a little taste of something of sports, and if I liked it, keep going with it. So I didn't like it at first, but I already done it for so long, so I'm gonna keep sticking to it.
And then obviously pays off in the end. Feel like you're a bigger fan of it now after a state championship, I assume.
Yeah, kind of miss it.
Well, I mean, from the sounds of it, when we were talking off mic, I don't know if you know any coaches up at Northern, Coach Coyle. I know you're going for football, Edley, but if you want to pull double duty as a wrestler, they might be looking at the 215 state champ.
Oh. It's tempting, but no.
Focus on one thing once you're up at college.
Yeah,
right?
that's too much work.
You mentioned, old country. If people who don't know, what's your background? Where's your family from originally, and how'd you end up in Yankton?
So my mom and dad were born in Cuba. So Cuba was like a mess down there. So they wanted to move. So they moved to Spain. They were there for 11 years, then had me. We came to the U.S. when I was 5. We went through Mexico to Texas. Then we moved to Florida because we had family members there. Then someone called us up from Yankton, that I think was my mom's cousin that was up here. They told us to come up here. It's a good place, easy to settle down. So we made the drive to Florida, up to Yankton, South Dakota, and turned 6 here and been here ever since.
So probably a little colder than anything you lived with growing up, but obviously, you've been here longer than you haven't at this point, so you're probably used to it by now. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about going up to Northern for football. I know getting off the topic of wrestling, but playing college football up at it's the NCAA Division II level, but obviously a very high level, good program up at Northern and Aberdeen, and you get to stay fairly close to home too, only a couple hour drive back. But what kind of went into your decision making to sign on at Northern?
Because my dad is up there now, so it's only me and my mom down in town. So I just want to be close to my dad. I barely see him, so at least I can see him every day.
And which that's obviously awesome to hear that you'll be able to be with your dad again, moving up to he's up in Aberdeen, but you're bringing a teammate with you. Drace Gaskin's also signing with Northern, so a little familiarity there. But how did those conversations get started? Who reached out first from Northern?
So in the summer, I was doing like NDSU camp, and one of the and Northern was up there, and they were watching me like do reps and everything, so they went up to me, contacted me, and they just asked for my phone number, we'll reach out to you, and they reached out to me like 2 days later about an offer, so I was okay. Then the head coach called me saying, he liked my film, my guys are up there watching you and they like what they see, and so I visit Northern sometimes every week, every other week, and sometimes I go up there and go check out Northern, talk with the coaches, talk with the players. So it's fun. They have a nice community up there, so I think I'll like it up there.
I know in conversations about football with Coach Brady Muth in the past, and I assume, Coach Coyle, you'd agree, you're a very physically gifted athlete, great size, great strength, great athleticism, so that obviously always popped on tape. But Coach Muth said over the last couple of years, you've just gotten better and better at the fine-tuning of the game, and I know it's going to just keep increasing up in Northern. So I do wish you luck up there as part of Wolfpack, right? Wolves?
Yep, Wolves. Cool. NSU Wolves.
Don't want to be any disrespect to NSU right now.
You're good. You're
with who I'm in
the
the booth with. But congratulations again on that, Edley, and the state championship and everything. And enjoy the rest of your senior year here at Yankton.
Thank you.
All right, Coach Coyle, switching things over to talk more about the team as a whole here. I know Edley obviously leading the way with the state championship, but Chase Platt, a state runner-up at 165. You had 8 guys qualify in total this year, and I know obviously Coach Yagi focuses more on the girls' side, but Winry ends up second place in her weight class as well. Yep. So pretty impressive showing for Yankton wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's since I've been here, it's been nice to see it kind of have that steady incline up with the number of qualifiers. Kids placing at state, as well as how high we're placing. Obviously, everybody's goal, the flat line is to make the banner in our room, which is you place at state. You want to be a state placer, but that starts with the little things, right? That starts with qualifying for state. That starts with getting a 500 record, getting a seat at the region, placing at regions. So it's kind of that gradual build-up. It was super, super cool for our younger guys that made it to state to see Edley win that state championship, to see Chase make the finals, even the girls to see Winry make the finals. that was huge because it really ended our season off, and it kind of helps. I mean, the kids went nuts for them, which tells you, for one, as a coach, like you see your teammates and your the kids you coach all together super happy for each other, whether they win or lose. Like, that's probably means more than anything to me, coach-wise, than anybody having success, not having success, all that stuff. So seeing them be genuinely happy for him and him being able to celebrate that moment with the kids is something I'll never forget. So seeing that tells us we're going in the right direction for sure. For what we've had, even if we're losing Edley and Chase, those guys have really embraced too. And I'd even say Peyton Eustace and Jolton Remington, who didn't quite make the state tournament, but had good seasons and meant a lot to the program. Them 5 really laid the foundation out for Yankton wrestling for years to come, because they built that kind of hunger, motivation for the younger guys to want to have that moment. You know, I have kids asking me, when are we starting freestyle? When are we doing off-season stuff? When can we go to this tournament? And I have never had that going into after a season going in. Usually it's, we're done, and it's like a sigh of relief, and they can have a little break. These guys are hungry, and them seeing Edley have that moment, and them seeing both Chase and Ed make the finals and in the semifinals Friday night when that happened, like, it makes the kids hungry. It makes them want that for themselves and for the team. I think we have a very big focus on team first mentality. It's wrestling, and you're out there by yourself individually, but it's who got you there, who got you ready, who was your practice partner. So all those things are kind of building up, and obviously would have liked to see a couple more kids on the podium, but we pretty much, for those younger guys, wrestled to our seeds and got super good season, super good progress, and we're really excited for the future of Yankton wrestling on the boys and the girls side. I know I'm speaking for Yagi, but I know he's excited for the girls, and I just thank the 5 seniors we had, because everything they put into it, since I've got here, that's what's laid the foundation for years to come.
I like how you brought up the future, and just not to make it about me, but a personal story. When I grew up wrestling back in Holstein, Iowa, our practices were in a little sweat box from kindergarten up through 6th grade. And on the wall was the only state champion in Galva Holstein history, Chad Butler, 1996. So even as a little kid, I'm like, I'm going to be Chad Butler. Now, I didn't have the physical tools or the commitment in the end, unfortunately. But like, there's kids who go in there every day. It's like, I'm going to be the next one. And now, Edley, it's kind of to you too, people are going to see your name on the banner like, I'm going to be the next Edley Amaro. I'm going to be the next state champion for Yankton. That's really how you build a program, even from the youngest ages.
100%. Yeah. A lot of these guys, the thing we emphasize on too is they're helping out the Junior Bucks program. They're going to their practices afterwards even if they don't feel like they're cutting weight, they're putting that time in with them. At tournaments, they're engaging with the kids. They're, at the Junior Bucks tournament, we're reffing them. We're building that too, top to bottom. So even if they know Edley, a lot of them feel comfortable enough to go up to him and, hey Edley, and that's a big deal to them. So one of our emphasis is having that top to bottom program. Everybody be connected, from the coaches to the wrestlers to the little kids to the managers to everybody. It's a really good and cool thing to see from my perspective, kind of see everything kind of fall into place as it's been going. Because you never, we talk to these guys, you never know who's watching you and what little kids how you react on the mat and in life and all those things, these kids are watching. So, there's a big emphasis on that, and I think that really helps our program become a really big family too.
I'd like to congratulate both of you again, Edley, on your state championship, and Coyle, just top to bottom, great team performances out. Chase Platt, a runner-up, 8 total qualifiers. I think there was one alternate as well that could have made it as well. Alternate, yep. So you had almost 9 guys in the state tournament there for you. So this is the end of year 3 for you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then obviously, hopefully many more to come here at Yankton High School. Thank you both for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Brayden. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Big thank you again to both Coach Coyle and Edley Amaro for coming in to talk to us here at KYNT for Huddling with the Herd this week. Good luck to Edley as he moves on in the future. Not moving on yet. Still has to finish up his senior year of high school. Obviously, still a couple months left. But moving on in the future, going to Northern State to play football. Fellow wrestler who qualified for the state tournament, Drace Gaskins, also going to Northern State for football. So good luck to both of them up in Aberdeen. And as you heard in that interview, that is the alma mater of head wrestling coach Robert Coyle III. He says it wasn't really needling there, but you always got to say, I feel like guys rooting for their alma mater, he's going to be happy to see a couple great athletes going up and playing for the Wolves in Aberdeen. When we come back here on KYNT and KYN-TV, we're going to talk Yankton Bucks hockey as they start the state tournament this week. That's coming up when we return here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
Getting your business noticed starts with the right print. The other day, a customer came into the UPS store Yankton to pick up blueprints we printed for him. While we finished his order, he mentioned needing business cards. At the UPS store, we handle all your printing needs. Stop in and ask about our current print specials. And that customer, we had his new business cards ready the very next business day. Come explore our small business solutions at the UPS store in Yankton.
Save time and shop online at Hy-Vee. Enjoy the same low prices and great deals online as in store. It's fast and easy. Just shop groceries from our app or online. Choose a pickup or delivery time that fits your schedule. And done. Plus, you can create and save grocery lists, browse weekly deals and coupons, and earn fuel savers. Whatever you need, wherever you are, just one click away. Save time and shop online today at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
When we fuel our body poorly, it becomes more susceptible to joint pain, inflammation, and other health issues. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Our doctors can evaluate your nutritional needs and provide a specific supplementation and nutrition plan. We aim to improve your overall quality of life, along with alleviating any pain you are dealing with. For this reason, proper nutrition is a key element to your chiropractic treatment plan. Visit us at firstchiropracticcenter.com, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Long day, good day, either way, Yankton Pizza Ranch makes it easy. Our buffet is always ready with fresh pizzas, mouth-watering desserts, and the country's best chicken. No waiting, no stress, just grab a plate and enjoy. So when you need comfort made simple, make today a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Buffet every day from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround 'em up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down, your dog decides your couch is a chew toy, and oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote. Because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. We're going to talk Yankton Bucks hockey. We're also going to wrap things up here with YHS Nation coming up shortly on KYNT and KYN-TV. Let's look at the last week for the Bucks. Starting last Saturday, a 3-2 loss to Sioux Falls East. Brayden Berkland and Rylan Murphy each had a goal, with Tucker Rinken recording an assist. Luke Moeller stopped 34 of 37 shots faced. That is back-to-back weekends with losses to Sioux Falls East. And that moved Yankton pretty much firmly into the 3 seed. That's what they're going to enter the state tournament as. Sioux Falls East as the 2, and the Rushmore Thunder in the top spot as the 1 seed. But on Sunday, Yankton did end their regular season on a high note, a 5-0 shutout over Watertown. Rylan Murphy with a pair of goals and an assist. Tucker Rinken with a pair of assists and a goal. And Cade Schramm and Kylan O'Connor a goal each. Easton Anderson, Brayden Berkland, Dawson Toms an assist each. Luke Moeller stopped all 25 shots faced for his 5th shutout of the season. State tournament begins on Thursday in Sioux Falls. Game 1 for the Bucks will be against Owyhee at noon on Thursday. That is at the Shields Iceplex in Sioux Falls. Good luck to the Bucks up in the state tournament this coming week, beginning on Thursday against Owyhee at noon at the Shields Iceplex. Now it's time to take a look at YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV. YHS Nation looking at things going on outside of athletics around Yankton High School. And Scotty Borman's got an interesting one this week. A longer interview for you today, but It'd be one that definitely piqued my interest a little bit when he told me about it earlier this week. Let's get right into it now here on KYNT and KYN-TV.
Welcome to another installation of YHS Nation on Huddling with the Herd. And today I've got a special guest of Laura Horacek, and she is the Chief Nutritionist, shall we say, for Yankton School District. That's right. What is your title again, Laura?
I'm the Child Nutrition Director.
Okay, well, I was close. So you get to make sure all the kiddos get fed properly, right?
We do, yep, along with staff of about 30, yep.
Okay. And we like to focus only on the high school, but you have more than just the high school you play with, right? So how many do you get to work with here at the high school?
At the high school, we have about 10 staff members that do various things, full-time and part-time staff members. And then we have, at each elementary site, there's a couple, one that does breakfast and 2 at lunch every day. And then middle, we have about 7 or 8. And then our new site, TLC, we have 3.
Okay, excellent. And why don't you give us a little background about, let's say, how many different types of meals you serve here at the high school, and, because you do more than just lunches, correct?
We do. Yeah, we serve hot breakfast every day here at the high school, and all of our sites do a breakfast meal. And then at high school, we do. The kiddos here have about 7 choices to eat every day. We have 2 regularly hot entrees, and then we have about 5 what we call grab-and-go options, which include peanut butter and jelly, chef salads, yogurt meals, hummus. So there's about 7 different choices that the kids can choose from every day.
Okay. And you guys also do the concession stands for home basketball games and stuff.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. I'm a concession supervisor, so I do all the home varsity events for the football field at Crane, and we do track, and then we do indoor sports here at the high school.
Well, since the soccer teams play at Crane Youngworth, do you do concessions for them as well?
We sure do. Yep. Soccer and football at Crane. Yep.
Can't forget them.
Nope, for sure not.
So you get to have your way of helping support the sports programs as well.
Yep.
The fans mainly. And so, do you have any students that help out in any fashion?
We were very fortunate last semester. We had a student intern that helped us out for a couple weeks. But other than that, we don't have any students right now. But we're always looking for good help. So if we ever have any students that are interested, even in the World of Work program, with Mr. Muth. So yeah, we always are looking for good help.
Yeah, Mr. Muth does a lot of good job done. I got to interview him a while back about that whole program.
Yeah,
awesome
it's a great
stuff.
Program.
So anybody that's interested with Mr. Muth or you, because a lot of people overlook the kitchen staff, don't they? Because, I come from a military background. A lot of people look down on the cook. But nothing gets done without a good meal.
Right. Yes, the nutrition staff, I'm of course biased, but we have a great program and we have a great staff, we have a great department. But yes, nutrition is a vital part of learning, and we're just thrilled that we can be a part of that portion of the students' day.
And you've got a lot of really cool high capacity equipment that you get to use here at the high school to prepare things. And it's not just for here at the high school. You got a whole area that helps some of the other schools out as well, right?
Yeah, we sure do. So we have our kitchen at the high school is what we call our central kitchen. And so we prepare all of the food for the elementary schools for Beadle, Lincoln, and Stewart. Their kitchens are very, very small, and so they have very limited counter space. So we prepare everything here at the high school, and then we have a driver, and he drives and delivers our meals over to that school, and then they cook them and serve them there. So we have some staff that starts here in the morning and gets those items ready, and then they go to the elementary schools and they're the cooks there.
Okay, and I noticed you did mention the newest school in town, Trailhead Learning Center. So they have pretty much independent, pretty full kitchen there that they...
Yeah. So high school, middle school, and our newest site, Trailhead Learning Center, has what we call a full prep kitchen. So everything is made there from start to finish. They get their own deliveries. We have a great crew out there at Trailhead. It was a great learning experience, to open a new kitchen and with all that brand new shiny equipment and like I said, we have a great crew out there that's doing a good job feeding those kiddos.
Awesome. And of course, I remember going through the kitchen at what now is the middle school when it was my high school. So that obviously has more room than the elementary school.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So, and how many? Can you break it down a little bit? How many meals do you usually serve here at the high school?
At high school, we serve anywhere between 6 and 650 a day. Chicken burger day is higher than that's our highest participation day. Chicken and pizza. The kiddos like both of those two things, but so those days are higher. But at those 3 elementary sites, we do at like a Beetle, Lincoln, and Stewart. We do about 850 a day, and then middle school's right around 600.
Okay, and I'm assuming TLC has a few meals there too.
They do.
Yeah.
We do about 170, 180 meals a day there.
Usually at those ages, they're really picky. Well, they're picky about what they consume there, and then you get up here to where full-fledged teenagers, and they can get real picky too, right?
And we've heard, from moms and dads that, my kid doesn't eat that at home, but they'll eat it at school, so.
Nice, feather in a cap for the kitchen staff.
So we'll take that compliment.
Must be doing something right. Okay, and so again, if any student is interested to learn about the world of nutrition and cooking, because that could go into a whole line of in restaurants or whole types of different careers.
Sure.
You would welcome students that would have an interest in that to help out?
Yeah, absolutely. And in especially in like child nutrition, there's all sorts of different avenues you can take. There's a lot of bigger schools they hire chefs and registered dietitians. I myself have a business degree. Depending on what school you operate from, depending on the enrollment size, you have to have a certain like a bachelor's degree or higher if your enrollment is higher. But there's certainly a business side to child nutrition, but there's all sorts of different avenues that you can take if you're interested.
Yeah, because not everybody can be doctors and lawyers. Mm-hmm. We have to have electricians and cooks and plumbers. And
absolutely.
Everything should be available.
And you're talking to a former plumber here.
Oh, awesome! Awesome.
This is my second act.
Okay. Another career that is unnecessarily maligned because not many people would want to do what plumbers have to do.
Right. Yep.
And
this job is a lot more cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
my hands don't get as dirty.
Yes, because with all the stainless steel here in the kitchen, I mean, obviously you and your whole staff at all the kitchens at all the schools have to be totally up on all the regulations for cleanliness and everything. So let's say if you were taking on a new person in the kitchen, new employee, how long would it take for them to get from, okay, I'm fresh off the street, to, okay, now you're fully functional here for Yankton School District?
We like to say a one menu cycle, so we do a 6-week menu cycle, and so that kind of gives everybody, or the new employee, a taste of everything that we cook. And then by the end of that cycle, it's like, okay, we're having, pizza again, and I can remember what the steps are to that. But we start, with new employees, we start right away with sanitation and washing hands and you'll see in this
hairnets,
high school, hairnets, aprons.
Like me, you'd have to a hairnet along the chin. Yep.
And they do make those. But we have, like you see in every kitchen that we have, there's lots of hand washing sinks, so we wash our hands several times a day anytime we're changing gloves out or changing tasks, or we have a lot of kiddos with special diets, so we don't want to cross contamination. If we're cutting up strawberries, we want to make sure that there's no strawberry anything on our gloves or our person, because we do have some kiddos that are allergic to strawberries, and we don't want any kind of a reaction. So we do a lot of training with that about food allergies and things like that.
Now, I have talked to other agencies in town here, and one of the big areas is, with food insecurities and I would say, and you got to be in touch with a lot of children that have that hanging over their head as well.
Yes.
And so, how are you able to help at Yankton School District with the children that have to deal with that?
A couple different ways. So I am also on the board of the Yankton Food for Thought, which we do weekend meals for the kids in our district, and all they do is have to have a parent sign up with their principal. We don't know, the board doesn't know any names or anything. We just send the sacks to the school, and what they are is they're shelf-stable meals and some snacks for the kids to get them through the weekend, and then until they can get back to school on Monday and have breakfast and lunch with us. But it's stuff that the kids can make themselves, some easy microwave things and lots of stuff that doesn't need a microwave. But so we help with that, and we also do a food pantry once a month. The first Tuesday of every month that we do a food pantry for families that go to Yankton School District. And the board, Sandy Kramer, Deb Overstuff, there's about 10 of us that are on that board, but they all do such an amazing job because they're, this food insecurity is so near and dear to our hearts that it's an easy job to do, because it's easy for us to, I don't want to say the work is easy, but it's easy for us to show up every day and do that kind of work. But so we do the food pantry, and we purchase food through the school district, and also Feeding South Dakota, or deliveries for Feeding South Dakota site. So that's one avenue that we do, that we help try to combat food insecurity. But then another avenue is our Angel Fund, and Yankton School District's policy is to feed every kid no matter what their balance is in their account. So even if they're negative, we will feed that child, because we believe that nutrition is a vital aspect of their learning day, and you can't learn on an empty stomach. And we don't want any student to be worried about, I can't eat lunch today because I just can't eat lunch today, and that we don't want any student to feel like that. So with that policy then comes a little bit of negative meal balance. So the Angel Fund is in place. My predecessor, Sandy Kramer, created the Angel Fund about 10 or 15 years ago, and because she saw a need to help struggling families, and we do have some families that are struggling every day in our community, and that fund goes to help pay that negative balance, not off, but helps them try to get ahead, because some parents are living paycheck to paycheck, and we know that, and we want to help them out as much as we can. So that's what that Angel Fund is for.
And I heard rumors you even get help during the summer break as well with food, right?
Yeah, yep. And that's another way, you're right, that's another way we try to combat that food insecurity, because we do a summer program, and which is free for all students 18 and under, as a free program to come eat lunch. Last year we were so excited to move from a dine-in type of program to a grab-and-go program, so we were allowed to not only give them lunch, but breakfast, and then also weekend meals. So we were able to feed kids all summer for 7 days a week, which was, to us in food service, that was pretty amazing, and we were, just excited to be part of that program.
Okay, I guess the great follow-up question on that, since we are actually entering into the spring sports season, so we have a limited amount of time for this school year yet. Once summer hits, where do those children go for that summer meal program?
So last year we operated only out of middle school site. We did 2 distribution days a week. We did like Tuesdays and Fridays, and then so Tuesday they picked up 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches, and Friday 4 lunches and 4 breakfasts. So that way they had food all week, and we did something kind of different. We did all the meals were designed to be eaten cold, but they could be warmed up with supervision. So because we know that big brother and big sister sometimes is watching their younger siblings, and mom and dad might not want them to run the oven or that kind of thing. So we designed our whole menu so that it can be eaten cold, or like if you're running around and doing errands, you can throw that stuff in a cooler and eat it in the car, kind of thing. You don't have to worry about heating it up and eating something hot. So we we got a lot of great feedback about that type of program. So like I said, last year was our first year trying it, and hopefully we can do it again this year.
Okay. And is there anything else you would like to say about the nutritional program for the Yankton School District? Because it's much more far-reaching than just here at the high school.
Sure. Only that, we, like I said, we have just a tremendous staff that just loves to feed the kids, and we love to see the smiles. So we have back to school meetings every year, and I always say that we have the best job because we see all the kids every day. So like if you are, for instance, an English teacher, you might not get to see all the kids every day. You get to see your, 6 or 7 classes, but we're fortunate where we can see a majority of the kids every day, and what's better than lunch, so we get to see them at a great time. They're grabbing their food, and then they're going to go chat with their friends for 20 minutes, and it's just nice. And we have the kids have such good camaraderie with the lunch staff, so it's just kind of a fun day.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Laura. This has been a great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Big thanks to Scotty Borman for that interview here on YHS Nation. Now it's time to take a look at the activities calendar for the coming week. What is going on around Yankton High School as winter sports starting to wrap up here around Yankton? Your spring sports are coming into fruition. We're a few weeks away from the start of baseball and of track and field and things of that nature. I know high school girls golf has a meeting later this week. We'll talk about that here as we look at your activities for the week. First of all, an FFA varsity event at Bridgewater Emory High School at 9:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Jumping ahead now to Tuesday, a high school softball player meeting on Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. That is March 10th. Now looking at Wednesday, March 11th, high school girls golf has a sign-up meeting for all girls grades 7th through 12th. 3:15 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. at the high school at room 235. Excuse me. Moving ahead now to a Friday, March 13th. Debate has a varsity event, the Congress Qualls at Brandon Valley High School. And that is your activities calendar for the coming week here on KYNT and KYNTV. Of course, this afternoon, Yankton Bucks basketball against Harrisburg in the Sodak 16. Winner punches their ticket to the state tournament. Loser has their season come to an end. 2 p.m. tip-off, 1:30 p.m. pregame here on KYNT and KYNTV with Tel Tanner on the call. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Huddling with the Herd. Thank you for joining me, and be sure to tune in next week for more Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics here on KYNT and KYNTV, your home team and stream for the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles. Until then,